These are your guys from Seaside, rocking that house so divinely. And you guys are the best. Nowhere on a Sunday morning can you find a better jazz, soulful sound than right here on the stages of Seaside. So thank you, Bob Mathis, blowing the saxophone, organizing the wonderful crew, and the music that goes through them. Appreciate that. And then we have got Max on the Paul Lloyd Warner piano, that beautiful Busendorfer. What sounds come from that? Thank you for your dedication and love. Paul back there on those skins, just keeping that rhythm going. Speaking of rhythm, we have got Harley over there making that happen. So that is just fabulous. Great job, guys. Appreciate it. And I see slipping out from behind is a wonderful practitioner at Seaside for a long, long time. I don't even know how long you've been around doing the practitioner. 15 years. That is really, she has been praying for us for 15 years. It seems to be working. Things keep growing, and Seaside continues to be a thriving community, so thank you for your prayers. And one of the things that we do every Sunday morning is we honor a light holder. One of our spiritual practitioners symbolically takes the light that I'm about to light, but I'm not lighting it, so you can't get away yet. And they go to our spiritual support center, and I'm sure you have found out by now, but back in that corner of our sanctuary is our prayer center. And if you ever want to write out a prayer request, that's where you go. You put in the prayer request and you put it in that prayer chest, and it gets sent out to all of us on Sunday afternoon or Monday morning by Joanne, and you get 40 people praying on it every day. So that's a lot of power. But also what's powerful is Sunday morning. You get a direct prayer from a practitioner. And on the last Sunday of the month, which is today, which is why I'm standing out here, it's a little bit more sacred, it's our prayer wall Sunday. So you just come up and receive a prayer. But what I'm going to do now is light this, symbolic of lighting that light, acknowledging that presence, and that you're going to just commit to being there for God over the next hour and 15 minutes, just being that vortex, not necessarily tuning into us, but tuning into spirit. So if I get, what was I thinking? I look back to that corner and I get that spiritual hit. So there's Kay Samuelson. She is our wonderful practitioner for today, leading us up. And it's a joy to be able to share Sunday morning with you. My goodness. Good morning, if I didn't say that yet. And I love this Sunday that it tends to be after Easter, but it's the Earth Day Sunday, though. Earth Day Sunday is usually before Earth Day, but being that Earth Day was Monday, I'm still going to talk about the earth. And this whole year we're talking about healing. And so what a perfect time about healing the earth is what this talk's going to be about. And it's fun for me because I do all this research and I get so lost in the research and go down these different tracks that I don't write anything down. And then I have nothing by the end of Friday, and I've just been engrossed in all this information. So it will be interesting to see what comes out of me when I start talking. But what I'm excited about is that we have come together today to celebrate spirit in our life and in our world. So wherever you may be on your path, your spiritual path, know that you're welcome here at Seaside. It is a community of caring and empathy and kindness. At least we do our best with those things. We try to stay away from the judgment kind of stuff and just say, welcome home. We're grateful that you are here. And so why don't you just stand up and say hello to the person that's next to you.
Good morning, Seaside. Please remain standing for the congregational song, which will be led by Keith Leon.
All right. This song's written by my wife, Mara, called I Am the Light. Yeah, that's her right there. I am the light. I am the love, I am the spirit in me. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer, me. I am the answer, me. inside, waiting for someone to make it all right. Now I know why I'm here. It's perfectly clear. I am the answer, me. Oh, I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit, me. You sound beautiful. Yeah. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer, me. I am the answer, me. I used to fight between wrong and right, watching my fears taking over my life. Now I know why I'm here. It's perfectly clear. I am the answer, me. Everybody sing. I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit, me. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer, me. I am the answer, me. Sing it again, here we go. I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit, me. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer, me. I am the answer, me. I'm the answer, me. I am the answer, me. Again. I am the answer, me. Now we'll all bring it home. Here we go. I am the answer, me.
All
right, you guys sound great.
Woo, that is Keith Leone. Nice job, Keith. Hey, you got a workshop going on today at 1, right?
I do.
What's
From
that
1
about?
to 3,
What?
how to live a peace-filled life in a toxic world. And just for attending, you get a free copy of my international best-selling book.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is good.
Yeah.
That's nice. 1 o'clock right here.
1
with you.
o'clock. 1 to
Beautiful.
3. See that?
Nice. It'll be great. I know. And well, speaking of workshops, Deb, man, that's like, you know, Deb Sadler, she's the head of our whole educational program. And if you've taken a look, there's a lot coming out this week. I mean, not only do we have Keith at 1 o'clock, you got Rick Ireton. Rick, where are you? There he is. You know, Chakra Jam. You're going to activate it. It's going to be wild and happening, right? And it's the first mode. Yeah? So 1 o'clock right here. Man, it's going to be happening. We got classes going on. Monday, we got Brian, Reverend Brian. If you want a little joy, laughter, humor going on, come to his class. It's not too late. Let's see, Wednesday, got Dr. Chris, I'm moving this, got Dr. Christina. She's doing her essential earnest class that's going on. Tuesday, if you want to learn how to put power into your word when you do your prayers, come hang out with me. The end of the week, you got Garuda doing something on relationships. Man, there is a lot going on. So Deb Sadler, former teacher, she got out of the public school system, and so we grabbed her, and it's happening here. She is a practitioner who's going to pray us in, brings to us just a lot of wisdom, and just life works better when you're in class. And Deb makes sure we have wonderful offerings for that. So please join me in welcoming Deb Sadler. Pray us in.
Thank you. Good morning. Please join me in the stillness. Just welcoming the magnificence of the day, of this beautiful area where we live, this beautiful ocean breeze that sustains us and uplifts us, knowing that there is one spiritual source, one creative source of all that is, that lives, moves, and has its being in everything. For there is just one life, there is just one power, and one presence. And there's a universal intelligence that is everywhere present, that moves through all that exists. And it is love, and it is joy, and it is ease, and it is peace. For there is just one life, and that life is God's life. And that life is perfect. And that life is my life right now, as I am one with this divine intelligence that moves in, through, and as me. For I am spirit expressing in individualized form. And as this is true for me, this is true for each magnificent being here today. That each one here is the beloved, that beautiful light expression, that high consciousness. And so I know that this day is blessed and this service is perfect. I know that each one of us is here by divine appointment. I know that the words of Reverend Dr. Christian are a perfect, beautiful, divine download of Gaia and all of the oneness and beauty that we experience living this amazing life on this exquisite planet that we love so dearly and that loves us back as we are one. And so I just honor the magnificence of each one here.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is good in me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is good in
Thank you, Rebecca, for your beautiful song. And I want to thank fellow practitioner Deb Sadler for your wonderful prayer this morning. Good morning. My name is Brian Atkins. I've been a practitioner here at Seaside for 17 years at this point. And I'm currently, thank you. Currently, I'm in ministerial school, and actually this weekend, Friday evening and Saturday, we were in the back, the main room back there. Actually, our class was there, and I'm glad to see some of my classmates are here today, so that's pretty exciting. And one of the things that we've been covering in ministerial schools is the changing face of the spiritual world. And nowadays, you know, it's wonderful that we have streaming video, and you could be sitting at home right now watching this service. But what you don't get from that is the sense of building community. And one of the great ways to begin to build community is through volunteer work. And I want to share with you real quickly here 2 ways that you can actually get involved and begin to build community in your life. One of them is on June 2nd, we are going to have our graduation ceremony. Some of our ministers will be graduating, a bunch of practitioners will be graduating. And I am coordinating the volunteers. And I'm looking for people as ushers and greeters to help me out with that. So I'll be in the main room back there signing people up. And this is a wonderful event. If you haven't been to it, I highly encourage it. It's directed and guided by Dr. Kathy Hearn, who's just awesome. So I encourage you to do that. And for the other volunteer opportunity, Mark Diamez is a spiritual writer and a blogger, and he says that the spiritual centers that really are powerful and making a big change reach out into the community and help lift the community up. And one of the ways that Seaside does that is through our Heart to Heart program. And we honor throughout month by month different organizations who we want to help out. And it's important to mention that this is not a tithe, and which of course we do as a spiritual center as well. We do tithe. But the Heart to Heart is an opportunity for you guys to become involved in these activities. And today we're going to honor the group Miracle Babies. And I'd like to invite Micaiah Kinney to come on up here and tell us a little bit about Miracle Babies.
Hi, I'm Micaiah Kenny, and my mother, actually, Lauren Barker, is a member here, and thank you very much for letting me come speak for a couple minutes. So, Miracle Babies is a nonprofit based here in San Diego. It was founded by a high-risk obstetrician due to his own wife's experience with their baby being born severely premature. And I'm on the board of directors for the organization, and it's kind of a full circle life event for me because I myself am a miracle baby. 44 years ago, 45 this year, I was born 4 months premature and weighed 1 pound, 10 ounces to my mom. And she almost died through the procedure. I almost died through the procedure. Spent 68 days in the NICU with the medical team saying, you know, we don't know. She could have vision problems, she could have heart problems, she could have. And I somehow beat the odds back when research and technology did not exist to the day that it does now. But guess what? Babies are being born every single day all over the world, in San Diego, severely premature. And what Miracle Babies does is we provide 3 fundamental things to these families. The first thing is our family assistance program. It's probably our largest activity, and we provide financial and emotional assistance to families who have a critically ill baby in the NICU. A lot of that is through transportation funding, childcare. A lot of these families cannot afford to get to the NICU to visit their critically ill babies. The second thing we do are provide care packages. Every single baby in a NICU that Miracle Babies is affiliated with, their family gets a care package of some of the critical items that they may need when they are discharged from the NICU. And the third thing that we do is we provide miracle hours. And it's really a great time for families whose babies are still in the NICU to get a break from the traumatic situation that they're in. And we go to each of these hospitals. We provide dinner for the family. We provide craft activities in case they have older children or other children that they need to bring with them to the hospital. And we give the families a time to sort of step away. They're all rooms that are very close to the NICU, so they can kind of go back and forth, but step away for a minute and share their experiences with other families or just be around other families that are going through those experiences. And until you're intimately a part of that experience, you have no idea what it does to your base, what it does to your root, what it does to your family, what it does to your support village. And I am extremely honored to be a part of it. And I'm grateful that you let me share my time. We are having next week, Sunday, down at Liberty Station, our annual 5K walk. It's a walk run, but we do a couple events around the year, throughout the year that raise money. But this one is really important to me because it allows the families that Miracle Babies has supported to come and walk in honor of their babies that passed, in honor of babies that have passed and they've brought new life in. in honor of babies that have survived. And they're all there walking with all of us. And it's a really warm, celebratory event to really see the lives that Miracle Babies has touched. Our founder, Sean Donishman, he's there. He's a huge hit. I highly recommend, if I can definitely bring him in contact with you. He is a light of energy and love that comes through, and a huge reason why Miracle Babies is continuing to thrive. It's next Sunday, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I will be outside and can share more information with you all if you'd like. Thank you.
All right, thank you, and don't go away. Seaside would like to honor Miracle Babies with a gift. And thank you again for your service. And guys, if you want to get involved, that's a great way to do it. Take it away, Rebecca.
All right, good morning, good morning. It is my honor to introduce our guest artist today, and I'm so grateful that he's now part of our Seaside family, our Seaside life. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about him. Keith Leon S. is a multiple international best-selling author, co-owner of a successful book publishing company, and he's an international speaker who's spoken at events that included Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor, Neil Donald Walsh, Barbara DeAngelis, John Gray, Brian Tracy, and Marianne Williamson. He's a longtime member of Agape, a spiritual practitioner, an Agape International Choir member, and a soloist who's made music with the likes of Stevie Wonder, Ben Vereen, Nancy Wilson, Carl Anderson, Gloria Loring, Keb Mo, and the Wood Brothers. Please help me to welcome Keith Leon S.
And spoke on stages with Reverend Christian. Add that. All right. Just turn to somebody next to you right now and just say, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. This song is a finger snapper. It is a toe tapper, a booty shaker. In other words, it's a great excuse to get up and dance. So this song is called It's a God Thing. Here we go. Every time I see a sunset or a bird take to flight, I thank my spirit for the next breath, 'cause I know everything's alright. I used to feel so empty, wasn't sure of anything at all. You know, I thought I was disconnected, but I never even picked up the phone to call. God showed me who I am and a brand new way to be. Ever since I found this out, it's so good to be me, 'cause it's a God thing. Every day of my life, it's a God thing. Every day of my life. Well, I don't waste my time thinking about the future, and I forgave myself for the past. When I stepped into this moment, I found myself at last. God showed me who I really am and how awesome life can be. Ever since I heard the truth, it's so good to be me, 'cause it's a God thing. Every day of my life, it's a God thing. Every day of my life. Sing that with the saxophone. reflection of who and what I choose to be. You know what? I always thought someone else was in charge. Know that someone was me. Now I know who I really am. And all my friends would agree. Ha! Ever since I found the sweet, sweet spirit, it's so good to be me. 'Cause it's a God thing every day of my life. How about you? Everywhere we go, it's a God thing each and every day of our life. Whoa, it's a God thing. And hey, ain't it great to be alive? Oh, it's a God thing every day of my life. Every day of my life. God thing. God thing. God thing. God thing. God thing. God thing. It's a God thing.
That is Keith Leon. You're right, man. Finger snapping, toe tapping, God thing going on right here at Seaside. Way to go, Keith. Man, that's fabulous. Thank you. That is just, it's a God thing. Man, that's what we got going on right here. Thank you. Keith Leon. Man, love ya. All right. Hey, Paul. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Your community, the synagogue, the Kabbalah, man, my heart goes out to you. Those are your family. And I'm always joy when you're here sharing a Sunday morning with us at Seaside, but I know that's your family out there. And so I'm just so sorry to hear about the shooting that took place in Poway. Love goes out to you and the community and those that there was loss. And it's just, there's an epidemic, and it's just, we need to make a shift in consciousness so this ends. And so just know that you have Seaside's prayers, and please take it to your community. We love you, and the families, and just so sorry about what took place there. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I mean, something's going on, you know, where that kind of thing is happening time and time again in our neighborhood, our family. You know, the earth's crying out. You know, we need to pay attention. And so as we know here at Seaside, I've been spending this year talking about healing. And I've pretty much been talking about healing our body. But you know what? The earth is just an organism like our body. It's a little grander, but if God is everything, it's not any larger or smaller in the earth or in you or in me. And this earth is alive and it is dynamic. And when things are taking place upon this planet, it's like something's screaming, it's shouting out. And we here at Seaside had a wonderful emissary for the earth who was way ahead of her time. She was marching when the first marches were happening. Sandy Atkinson, just a charter member of Seaside. Yeah, bless her heart. Left us a strong legacy here. She left an earth ministry in which she created just wonderful awareness for us. And Callie, and bless your heart for fluffing up her table. It hasn't been touched since she's left, and put all sorts of just wonderful things that we can do to support this earth that we're walking on. And Sandy, boy, she shook us. She wouldn't let us use paper plates anymore around here. Do you know how upsetting that was? It went to the board, people complaining. Of course I should be able to use paper plates. It's easier. Well, that's the point. You know what it takes to create a paper plate, then to get rid of it, as opposed to a little bit of water. And then she bought us dishwashers because we complained about washing the dishes. And one of the last things she bought us was a second dishwasher and replaced the whole thing so we could do that. And she started the community gardens. And in a couple of months, we're going to honor her, paint them, put a name up there, and just thank her for a wonderful legacy she left us. So here it is, Earth Day week. Can't help but to think of a dear sister to us all who really got us in honoring this earth. And I mean, go back to John Muir. I mean, we all love this mountain man. And one of the things that he said, you know, created the the trail that goes from here to, Alaska and through the Sierras. And he said, keep close to you nature's heart. And don't forget to reach out once in a while. Go climb a mountain or spend a week in the woods so you can cleanse your soul, so you can cleanse your spirit. Keep nature, close to your heart. Keep nature's heart close to you, and once in a while get out there. Go climb a mountain. Spend a week in the woods. In his day, you probably could spend a week in the woods without being noticed too much. Imagine if you took a week off work now. Where are you? Well, I'm hanging out in the woods, So, but came across this wonderful word. Callie shared it with me. It's called werephisteria. I've never heard of werephisteria, but it's a great word. It's to wander longingly through the forest in search of the mystery. Isn't that a good word? Yeah, I just want to werephisteria. It's a verb. I want to werephisteria. It's like I want to go wandering. I want to feel the replenishment. I want to get in touch with the Mother Earth. I want to listen to her and be able to hear what's going on. These shootings, it's a cry. It's taking place within the environment. There's a crying that's going out, the temperatures that are changing, the water situation, the food situations, the fisheries. I'm not going to go to all those places this morning because I don't really want to paint too much of a dark picture. I want to go with some answers and things that we can do and the good that is going on. But I do want to point out that 97% of climate scientists tell us, scientific facts show that there is a change taking place in the climate upon our planet right now. Just about any field, that would be considered good. But you know what? There is a funding through different organizations like the Heartland Foundation. They used to support the tobacco industry in the 90s, funded by Philip Morris, saying that smoking was okay, it wasn't bad for you. Now they're being funded by individuals who are being by the fossil fuel industry, creating this climate that denies that there's something going on in the climate. And so there's this fight saying that all these 97% of our climate scientists are not correct. And so we got this battle that's going on. And as long as there is a battle saying this isn't true or this is true or this is true and this isn't true, there's a battle going on and we are not free to go out and make a difference. You get that? As long as there is a perception that there is an issue, whether it's really happening or isn't happening, then all the resources, the time, the energy, and the battle to make a difference doesn't go on because we're trying to say, you know what, it's time to realize it's time for us to do things that are good for Mother Earth, whether people believe that or not, but things are changing. Whether the snow in Mammoth this year is a result of climate change, it right now has 681 inches of snow on the peak of Mammoth right now. That's a lot of snow. That's like 55 feet of snow in Mammoth, and it's snowing today, some more. Now that's kind of good for skiers. The water's nice and warm. It never used to get into 70. Now I don't even need a wetsuit. It's way in the 70s. But what I want us to recognize is that what's taking place on this planet is so profound that we sometimes will go in and out of a collective amnesia because it is so overwhelming that it's almost as what can one person do? And as soon as we get caught up in this concept, there's nothing I can do to change the situations in the oceans or change the situation with the climate. We kind of go, but I'll tell you what, if we do nothing, our kids are probably going to inherit violent storms that they got to, recover from, significant droughts that happen, the deforestation. But if we do nothing, what will happen is we will end up to the very place we fear that could happen. So we got to do something. And I love this analogy from the Taoist philosophy. And they take the concept of a wheel. Imagine that you're a spoke in a wheel. And it takes all the different spokes to create the wheel, right? To hold the integrity of the wheel, it takes all the spokes that come from a central hub, one place, which gives it its strength. That central hub, we all start off in the same place, and we're like the spokes that go off in different directions, have our unique expression, all integral and important to keep the integrity. And, because without the rim, you wouldn't have a wheel. right? But without the hub, you wouldn't have that which would support the spokes. And without the spokes, what use is a hub and a rim? It's like, and so it's important to recognize that the hub is where we're all coming from, yet we have our own unique expression. So it's kind of like the paradox we talk about. We're all connected, yet we're all individuals, if you would. And yet the individual expression's imperative, as well as the realization that we're all part of this one something. And this one something, this life force, Christianity talks about it, the Holy Spirit, that moves through all individuals, all people. We got the same Holy Spirit that is within us. The Hindus talk about the Atman, that life force that moves through all individuals. The Buddhists talk about the Dharma, that life, purpose, and energy that moves through us. The Sufis, they talk about the Kaaba. The Kaaba is the origin of life. It's the origin of our being, that center, that hub. The Spanish, they talk about el meollo, which is heart. There's this heart, not the physical heart, but there's a heart, there's the Spirit, there's that Holy Spirit, there's that life, that hub, that's something that is central to us all, that if we were to stop long enough and to look into our brother or sister's eyes, I'd see me in you. If you were to take the time to look into me, you might feel the fear or the concern or the spirit of me inside of you. It's just a profound realization that we're in this together. And so where the resolution is going to come from is not just one individual spoke, but all of us creating the integrity and the balance upon this planet, and all of us working together. And we're at Les Brown. He headed up I'm forgetting the name of the organization. But he wrote the book Plan B 3.0, and he was really among the first folks that, hey, here are the answers to these significant, horrific challenges that is facing the planet. We believe in healing of our physical body. Well, it's just as natural for the earth to be able to heal herself. She knows how to do that, and when we're willing to walk in cooperation with it, we begin to be able to express that which would support that. Buckminster Fuller, I think, Reverend Brian, you told me this the other day. He said that if we would just get out of the way of the earth, she would heal herself in 90 days. Wasn't that you who told me that? Yeah, that's what he said, through Brian. Okay, so, what we want to do is to give that earth that opportunity, because what is going on, if you begin to take a look, and Les Brown, he is working with in D.C. to accumulate the statistics and the facts, that the major things that are facing us, one is the overpopulation. I mean, we have got such a significant population upon this Mother Earth that it's not possible for the physical resources that are here to sustain it. I granted that those who will deny that there's something going on the planet that we need to pay attention to feel that it is an inalienable right, or it is the faith that humankind is meant to dominate, control the nature, and all the fruits upon it are of hers or ours to use as we want. But there is something that realizes it can no longer sustain this growth. From the ice ages, which is 10,000 years ago, to 1650, there were less than 500 million people upon this planet. To give you an idea what that is, that's less than half of how many are living in India right now. In the next 123 years, it doubled. It took 123 years to double to it was 125 years to get to 1 billion, another 123 years to get to 2 billion. When I was in school, 7th grade, junior high, early 70s, my poli-sci class teacher was saying it's reported that the population upon this planet in 1974, when we reach it, will be 4 billion people. That is a quick doubling. You stop thinking, it took 10,000 years to get the first billion. And then we double it. And what it's projected right now, by the year 2025, there will be 8 billion people upon this planet. 8 billion people. And so what happens with overpopulation is the toxicity the waste that comes out from that. It is the lack of resources to support that. What happens with that is the lack of clean water. There's wars going on over water right now. That's another situation that's coming from the overpopulation, is the war that I need to take from somewhere that has it because I don't have it here. What is happening is the mass migrations that are going on because the areas in which people live are no longer supporting it. And so all of a sudden we begin to establish these dynamics upon this planet that is critical at this time. And Les Brown, that's the quote I was going for. Les Brown said, we are in a race of the tipping point between nature and the political systems. And so we get to decide, what am I going to do? I'm going to walk in balance with this earth. I'm going to listen to this mother. I'm going to believe that there's a healing that's coming from the very hub or the center of my being, and that I'm a spoke or an avenue through which it can go. And I am going to be present, and I am going to just know that, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm going to work with as much integrity to support what I can do. Obviously, we can't do it all, but there are some things that we can do if we're willing to stop and pause long enough to take it in. Instead of just rushing about in the amnesia thinking, this one doesn't matter, I'll get away from it. Oh, here's a story. It's kind of a cute story since I'm talking about tires, about this group of 3 guys, college students, big exam final coming up, but the day before there was this big old rock concert that they drove a long ways to, and they were in no shape to make it back to take the test the next day. And so they concocted this idea. They're going to tell their professor they had a flat tire when they were out on doing some service project. Professor is an easygoing guy. He'll let them take the test. And they told him, he said, yeah, no problem. Go ahead, study, and at the end of the week you can take the test. And they did. And so what he did is he put them in 3 different rooms. And when he handed them the test, he said, this is either going to be the easiest test you've ever taken or the most difficult test you've ever taken. And they've been studying now the next few days, get all in. He said, you get 1 point for getting your name correct on the exam. That's good. You get 5 points if you can tell me, where the flat tire happened. And I'll give you 94 points if you can tell me whether A, it was the left front, B, the right front, C, the left rear, or D, the left rear tire. We can't fool Mother Nature, We can't fool the professors who have seen it all. What we want to do is be as much integrity coming from the center and the heart of our being and bring it forth. And when we hear a cry coming from our world, if you hear your body complaining that it's sick, it becomes more toxic, or there's a pain, you pay attention, or it gets louder, or it gets worse. This earth of ours, which I believe is a totally spiritual expression. Some people will say, hey, Christian, what are you doing talking about the earth? Well, you know what? I believe the indigenous cultures that walked in balance over this earth for all of those millennials before we ever got here knew what they were doing with honoring the life of this mother, knowing that there was an essence that we are collaborating with, that we are working with, and that we can only take for so long without giving back. It is about living in balance. And so as I begin to pay attention with my actions, I begin to behave in a way that is more collaborative with this earth. And so what I begin to do is when Thich Nhat Hanh, this is his approach. He said, when you drink some water, say thank you for the gift of the mother for the water. He said, when you breathe the air, take the time to say thank you to the earth for the gift of the air. And when you eat, just pause for a moment and say thank you, for this food as a gift from Mother Earth for me. And you begin to live with a greater sense of appreciation, a greater sense of honoring. Because what is looking at emerging here is something that's got to move through all of us. Thich Nhat Hanh, as well as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, said that when the Buddha returns, it's not going to be an individual, it's going to be a community. We talk about Jesus when he returns. It's not going to be just one individual, but rather it is going to be a whole community of individuals who begin to embrace the Christ consciousness or that Buddha consciousness or the recognition that truly at the center we are all connected. And as we take the time to go to that place, we can begin to feel it and sense it. Because I'll tell you what, there are things that are going on this planet that are calling out. It's like a sick body that says, you know what, we have these shootings that are going on that are like an epidemic. That's not right. 10 years ago, they were not happening every other month somewhere. Now it's in our very yard. It's packed someone in our own community. You know what? It is something that needs to be addressed. And it's not just addressing one thing. It is the totality of consciousness, and to recognize that the planet is saying, hey, you know what? Look at not just the human species where there seems to be more infertility, but across the board that it's impacting the eggs of hot sands of turtles or the dolphins in the acidity of the ocean. The babies are not making it. The amphibians are not making it. And there's like no corpses of evidence left. It's just a handful of nothing, because it is not emerging like it once was. And you take a look at the different dynamics of our oceans and how it is being fished out. The salmon, 40% of those runs are not what they used to be here on the Northwest. Over in the Atlantic, there isn't even commercial salmon fishing anymore. And if you get farm salmon, you realize all farm salmon is dyed because it's not pink when it comes out of the farm. Europe doesn't even have those salmon runs anymore. The oceans are talking to us. The sky is talking to us. The weather is talking to us. The trees are talking to us. Are we going to listen? What has to happen before we get, you know what, I got to do at least what it is I can do? And it's not some political something. It is walking in balance. It is being part of the spiritual expression. It is coming from the center of that being that is going to allow the greater something to emerge here. When we pray, it's not about conquering the planet, or it's not about conquering and having victory over the body, but rather it is about having the wholeness be revealed so it can emerge in our physical form. When we pray, let's say you're praying for the new idea or something. Computers, here you go. You can't go to God and pray for the idea of computers to come through you before computers ever were, because you don't know what a computer is. Does that make sense? Let's say like a radio. Let me back it up a little bit. Before radios ever were, you can't pray, hey, let me know about radios, because you don't know the radios exist, because they haven't come about yet. So the answer for our planet maybe hasn't emerged in its totality yet, though there are pieces I'll share with you in a moment that are emerging, that are valuable. But you can't go to God and say, okay, this is the answer. Rather, you go to that inner place, that connection, and allow yourself to be available for the divine download. Allow yourself to be able to be open to the grace. The grace is my sufficiency. There will come the new idea of a radio, or a new idea of a computer. The new idea that will transform this planet and this world that we are walking on, so we can once again walk in balance. Because things are happening here. And yet we don't want to look. We pretend, hey, that's not so. Civilization, as I was taught in history class in school, started in Mesopotamia. It was about 5,000 years ago. In Mesopotamia, about 3,100, 200 BCE, that Iraq area is where it all began. In summer is the cradle of the birth of civilization. Then the Egyptians came, and the whole unfoldment from that. Anybody learned that when you were in school? Yeah. Well, but science shows us that's not the truth. Science today has uncovered Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. They uncovered this mound of a temple, kind of like Stonehenge, but a little bit smaller. As they dug down, they have found these pillars that have like T's on the top of them, doing the whole kind of solar kind of thing that they were doing of an advanced civilization. But not one, there are like 20 of them that are in this area in Turkey that date back between 11 and 12,000 years ago. At the end of the Ice Age epoch, this civilization Who were they? Where did they go? What did they do? How were they so advanced with the technology that they could move huge stones and carve in them in ways that we can't even do today? And all of a sudden, about 8,000 years ago, somebody had this genius idea, for whatever reason, to bury it all, which is what they did, which is why it has stayed totally intact. I should have brought the pictures to show you. It's amazing. It blows holes in the common story, whether it came from the Bible or whether it came from history class, that it all started in summer 5,000 years ago. You've probably heard in the Kabath Gulf of India at 120 feet. And you scuba divers could go down and dive this ancient, enormous civilization that's underneath the water. You see pictures, you Google it, and you'll see. And it dates back to about 7,500 years ago. That's 4,000 or 5,000 years before Egypt. That's amazing. I wasn't taught this in school. But it is, there's pictures, you can see it. It is there that there was some civilizations that was advanced. You can see pictures of the pyramids off Bimini. And I heard they're off the Azores as well. And so what we've got to do is be willing to take a look and say, okay, maybe the story I had served me, but life continues to expand. Life continues to grow. Life continues to emerge. And so rather than throwing it all in and saying, oh, God, I don't know what I'm going to do here, there were civilizations before the ice melt that are now 120 feet under the ocean, unless somehow they were able to build underwater, and why they would do that, I don't know. But you never know when you're talking like this. But, there's something that was built before the tides began to rise. And so as we begin to open up our heart to, there's an answer that's going to bring peace and resolution here, and I don't know what it is. I've got to get my mind out of the way, and I've got to have empathy. Empathy is about understanding. It's not about judgment, because I've got to tell you, those that are denying have a lot of judgment, say, this isn't, it's not about the battle. It is about what can bless this planet and help it unfold. Paul Hawkins, he's the individual who, I'm trying to think of his institute he worked for. He's the one who came forth with all the different organizations and made the list, 100,000 of them that are making a positive difference on the earth. Talk about spiritual approach to ecology or spiritual ecology. 100,000 of these. He ran them at a conference. They kept running throughout the whole conference. They never got to the end. And then he added to them. And then there were 1 million. And that's what I used to talk about, the million organizations that are supporting walking in a healthier way upon this planet that ran. And now it said there's 2 million of these social organizations that is, the fastest growing or one of the largest social organizations upon this planet that is grassroots, doesn't have a leader, but it is the many different spokes that are coming from the center theme that, we are part of nature. We are part of this planet. We are a species upon this planet that is very destructive right now, but it doesn't mean it has to be the end. But something needs to emerge beyond what we know. How could you have come up with a computer if you didn't know what computer was? How can you come up with this answer if you don't quite know? Well, what you do is you make that first little microchip. What you do is you take that first step of what you can do. And one of the things that is going on the planet right now are the wind turbines. It is a phenomenal addition to the energy that is going on. One 267-foot blade goes around one time is enough power for one home a day. And you get a lot of those things going. They created this wind field off the coast of England near Liverpool, and it is producing power for Liverpool for 466,000 people with wind power. We have over in Spain, they've got 10 million people receiving their power through wind. Denmark, they've got 40% of their country being supported by the energy of wind power. It is said that wind power in the next 30 years will sequester or pull out or not put into the atmosphere 86.5 gigatons of CO2. That's a lot. A gigaton's a billion tons. So 86.5 is a lot of carbon that's not going into the air, and it says that it will save $7.5 trillion. Now, you would think everybody would be excited. I'm ready to put up a windmill in my backyard. Go ahead. Yeah. Though I do have solar, which is another thing that is happening, is roof solar is making a phenomenal inroad here within our culture. But the reason why these wind turbines aren't going so well is in 2015, according to the International Monetary Funds, who did the math on this, they said that the fossil fuel industry was subsidized $5.3 trillion in 2015, either directly or indirectly. They're not going to let that get away. So you've got this up and coming energy source of wind that all of a sudden we're told that if Kansas, Texas, and North Dakota did it, it would take care of all of our energy needs from coast to coast in the United States. But not when there is subsidies to make that energy less expensive than the wind. So we got solar with geothermal, another huge one that's going on. New Zealand's big on geothermal. Greenland, big on geothermal. You've got the tidal energy that is going, that creates energy that is going strong. You got the river surges that is doing energy. You got the hydrogen cars. That's a possibility where you stick a hose of water in your car and it pulls out the hydrogen molecules so your car runs. I mean, there are amazing things happening. So Paul Hawkins wrote this book called Drawdown. Actually, he didn't write it. He edited it. Drawdown, the most comprehensive plan ever proposed to reverse global warming. And it's edited by Paul Hawkins because all the scientists were doing it now. I mean, and here are some of the things that just, made me feel good that I got lost in reading, as I said. But you've got microgrids that are happening, the geothermal. You got solar farms. You got rooftop solar. You've got here's interesting. You've got methane digesters. So, the methane that comes from the trash and the cows and all those things, it's like they pull the methane out of the atmosphere. Saw in the Los Angeles Times an article just this week came out about CO2 vacuums that pull it out of the atmosphere. I don't know how it's going to work, but how are we going to get here from there? Well, we've got to listen to our heart and say, hey, the body's complaining and it's getting louder. How bad does it need to get before I'm going to pay attention? What I can do is what I can do, and I'm willing to do the best that I can do to be a positive spoke in that wheel and continue to put it out there. Another big movement is the women and the girls to educate the girls so they take care of the family planning. They're the best with the micro loans that are going on. Buildings, you got zero net buildings. You got green roofs, smart glass. The insulation makes a huge difference. Transportation, electric vehicles. You've got electric bicycles. That's big in our town right now. You have ride sharing. You have got the levitation where there's no then materials. And so what needs to happen is we've got to change our perspective. The worldviews need to shift from domination to collaboration. What's got to shift is we've got to allow ourselves to become interdependent as opposed to isolating hyper-individualists with boundaries. We're sharing this planet together. We can't go taking everything off of it and saying, okay, next generation, you deal with it. Osho, Rajneesh, who's now known as Osho, he talked about, you see a beautiful flower. As soon as you pick that flower, it ceases to be what it was beautiful about. We can't go cutting things off and taking everything. And I'm not saying that we can't be extractors, if you would, but we need to be caregivers. We need to take care of this planet. And we can't just throw up our arms and go into amnesia and say, you know what, it's just too big for me to deal with. What I've got to do is realize I've got to participate here at the level in which I can participate and take that step towards where we're going. I may not know the ultimate answer on how to build a radio, but there's something inside of me that knows. When we used to send the ships off, we'd stand at the shore and the ship at my side, and she would take off toward the blue ocean. I don't know when she's coming back. And I don't know the cargo she's going to be returning with. but I got to send her off. We've got to do what it is we can do in our life and be willing to send that off. And know that I'm participating with others, 2 million organizations that are working on the same thing. There's this wonderful mythological bird of China called the Xian. And the Xian is this colorful, one-eyed bird, one-winged bird who can't fly by itself. It has to hook up, if you would, with a partner. And together they can fly and they can see. And as soon as one gets sick or falls away, they both crash. We're in this together. You, me, our community, our nation, the planet. We can be in amnesia and pretend there's nothing going on, and you'll find some organizations that will support whatever position you want. But science tells us there's something going on. Our planet's saying, you know what, I'm not feeling very good, or as good as I could feel. I need to rest a little bit here. What can we do to support the mother a little bit more? I'm not telling you what, but what I am telling you is there are a lot of things you can do. Google it, pick up the things at Sandy's table, read a Paul Hawkins book, but there's a lot you can do. It's time to wake up, shake it off, and do what it is that is ours to do. And then we will become an integrous spoke that brings from that heart that all the great religions talk about, to help create the integrity of that rim that is the wheel that we all will move through life with. God bless us on this Earth Day. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Keith Leon back to our stage.
Thank you, Reverend Christian. That's beautiful. All right, this song is called All There Is God, and of course, I would love for you to sing with me, so I'll teach you your part in just a minute. All there is God. All there is God. All there is God. All there is God. No more doubt or confusion. I release the pain of illusion. Yes, there's only one solution. Yeah, yeah. What I found is oh so simple. A deeper love, an inner temple, and I found it in the stillness of my soul. And you sing, all there is God. Sing it with me now. All there is God. It's right here in the room, right here in this room. All there is God, as me, as you. All there is God. Now I'm resting in the knowing that my good is overflowing. and my faith is ever growing, yeah, yeah. Take me back to the beginning. I feel the Spirit moving in me. Make me stronger, make me willing, yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause all there is God. Sounds so good. All there is God. Closer than your breath. All there is God. All there is God. All there is love. All there is love. All there is peace. All there is peace. Passes all understanding. All there is truth. All there is truth. Gotta be your word, God. All there is God. Now I'm resting in the knowing that my good is overflowing and my faith is ever growing. Yeah, yeah. Take me back to the beginning. I feel the Spirit moving in me. Make me stronger, make me willing, yeah, yeah. All there is God. To your left, look to your right now. All there is God. Closer than your breath, nearer than hands and feet. All there is God. Right here in this room, as me, as you. All there is God. All there is love. All there is love. Sounds so good. All there is peace. All there is peace. All there is truth. All there is truth. All there is God. All there is God. God is all there is. All there is God. Now we'll bring it home. Here we go. All there is God.
That is Keith Leon. Woo. All there is God. That's good. That works for us. Yeah, I like that. Can I look at a situation and know that all there is God? Well, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share a gift, to share our offering, and as we give, it comes back. But it's not why we do it, but rather it is that reciprocal activity of life itself. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and to give from that full place, that overflowing place. And as you send it forth, just know truly that the blessings and the gifts of God come back to you. You get to be the activity that Spirit's having in your life. So with that, I'd like to invite our ushers forward as we do take this gift, from that heart place. And say thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those who remember us with the auto tithe, that regular systematic gifting from your world to support Spirit's work, which you'll find is your world being consistently blessed and enriched by the wonderful unfoldment of Spirit in your life. And so I want to share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the fullness of the divine has its way, where we become that very expression of God, the activity of Spirit in our life, that we get to designate the level in which we get to play and swim and live and move and have our being, because we're truly dealing with that which is infinite, and it particularizes its expression through our activity. So when we come from the center of our being, I know right now that there continues to flow through us a richness, a sense of vitality and energy, a sense of ease and grace and peace and a deep sense of security, knowing that Spirit is our source manifesting in an infinite amount of ways. So grateful to know that we are connected with that which is God. We share that God expression that has blessed and graced our life, and this blessing and this grace continues to go out bringing good to everyone it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to participate in the abundant flow of life. So it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Your guys from Seaside. Great job. And so I stand before this abundance, this bounty, this love that has poured forth and through each and every one of us, that has enriched our lives, has brought us a sense of well-being, has opened us to the reciprocal gifting of the Spirit as our very experience. For I know right now that those of us that have chosen to be a giver in life, we find that life is a giver to us, that we take that which has blessed us and we have sent it forth and is received here at Seaside with a joy. It is handled in good stewardship and put forth, bringing that joy and that good to all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for my deep abiding faith and trust and knowingness of my source, that is God, and so it is. Amen. All right. This is John, board member here at Seaside, always up to something around here. Already planning the fall golf tournament, so keep that in mind. Keith, oh my goodness, just fabulous songs. Thank you so much. And appreciate you stepping in and lead the choir for Easter. That was wonderful. So thank you. And Rebecca, we missed you at the first service. Where did you wake up this morning?
I was in Phoenix, Arizona this morning.
Were you? Oh, my. Well, I'm glad you made it home from your gig and made it for our second service anyway. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Rebecca Jade, very own. Ed, giving us sound today. Thank you. Marv, giving us the visuals. Thank you. Guys on the camera and in the sound room, thank you. My goodness, we are reaching out and touching more individuals than any of us ever begin to know. I know there's a dialogue going on online, and we hear the stories and all sorts of good things that are happening. So, and good happenings keep going on at Seaside. Take a look at the program, and you'll see the classes. Like today, you heard about Rick Ireton's Chakra Jam that's happening at 1 o'clock. You got Keith's class that is going on at 1 o'clock. You've got Brian's class on Monday. You've got my class. If you want to learn how to put the power into your prayer, that's the one you want to be at. Wednesdays, you got Christina's class starting the Essential Earnest. You've got a relationship class with Garuda on Friday. It's like things are going on. Life just works better when you are in class. Take advantage of this wonderful opportunity to deepen your experience and find the power of knowing God in all areas of your life. It is amazing. Also today, is our first volunteer meeting for Lisa Nichols, who's coming to Seaside. So join Kay Samuelson and myself in the Emerson room or the Quimby room afterwards. But what I want to do is ask our children if they got anything they'd like to share with us. Hey guys, anybody want to talk this morning? No? Yes?
We made toothpaste today.
Yeah?
And
How'd that taste?
good.
All right, then you'll like brushing your teeth, huh? Keep that smile. Anybody else want to share something? Yep, no. Okay. All right, well, I'll tell you what. One of the things I didn't mention that we're starting today are the sign-ups for Gourmets for God. You've heard, let's say together first to our children. We see you, we love you, and we support you in your magnificence. So, here we go. Gourmets for God sign-ups start today. We're looking for host families. And so what I thought I would do to kick it off is a little chefing up. What was a big hit last year is the salsa I make. And you guys, you like that, huh? Well, you can try it. Okay, we'll send it out to Susan's table where Gourmets, and you're looking for people to sign up to host an event at your house, right? Not your house, their house. But if you want to at Susan, she might let you, or maybe not. Anyway, last year Susan took Rick Ireton and his chakra jam and created a whole meal, 7-course meal, 7 colors go up the chakras, and it was crazy, wild, and fun. And it was in I gotta wear that again? Come on. Okay, what do you think? Oh my goodness. Next week, I don't think so. No, don't egg her on. But anyway, we're asking you to host a meal. It's a great way to meet new people, to have friends, have them come over to your house, and just deepen your relationships. And what happens is we'll host one, and I've shared with you, somebody did one called Tie One On. It was all about Thai food. We've had rockin' ribs. We've had them out on sailboats. They're always fun. And so we ask you to do that. And you say how many seats you are available, and then we go ahead and auction them off here with a raffle. And so it creates wonderful relationship. It generates some funds for Seaside in the summer, and we just have a lot of fun. So I thought I would start the fun here today and see what I could conjure up. So the salsa, let's see, kind of begin with the smaller stuff, I think. So, jalapenos, that should be in there, all of them. And maybe a little bit of garlic, but didn't the band say, Max, you wanted more garlic? Yeah, oh man. We're making Italian salsa here. And then, let's see, we'll put in the cucumbers and a little red wine vinegar, one of the secrets of mine. And more? No, it's not secret anymore. No, maybe a drop of olive oil. Maybe I should get that soft first, then I can't ruin it. Okay. Vegemix, very nice. Can I have this when we're done? Oh, okay. Now, the key is onions, right? And a lot of tomatoes and cilantro. What do you do with it when you've used it, right? You might as well use it all. No, not all of it. It's going to have a strong cilantro taste to it. And then we pray. Because that's one of the keys to cooking, right? There we go. What do you think? A little bit? No, that's good. Hey, wait, we need that drum roll for the actual taste. Put in this one, huh? You got a bunch of them. Who do you think wants to taste it? Ooh. Okay. You guys, any of you like salsa? Cucumbers make it not so hot. So, gotta put chips so we don't use no double dipping, Okay, you want to try one? You're not allowed to eat in the sanctuary, so don't tell anybody, but it's okay. Since I said it's okay. You want one? No? No? Yes. We have got a taker. Drum roll, please. Yes. Good. Hey! Woo! Man, I got to find out now. I'm curious. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. It'll be at Susan's table. All right. So I'm going to pray this out a little differently. Today's the last Sunday of the month, so it's Prayer Wall Sunday. So any practitioners or ministers that are here want to, that's red thing, not next week. So any practitioners and ministers, I want to invite you to come stand up here. And usually what I do is pray, and then we sing ourselves out. But I got this great video that could be our visual prayer. And then after it's complete, I'll share a few words because I do want to just add some love for Synagogue and Poway and the Miracle Babies. So, so Marv, why don't you roll that? It's a couple-minute video of just the beautiful earth. I thought that is a prayer unto itself. And then I'll add a few words when this is done. We sing. Hey, Lord, And so this visual prayer just opens my heart, allows me to see the beauty that nature is, and I come to realize that I too am nature. I'm not any more or any less than. I am part of that natural expression of God. And so it's in this place I know the truth of our being is one of wholeness, and just as our physical body returns to a place of balance when it's out of balance, so too this planet returns to its place of balance with an ease and the grace, and live with a deep sense of trust, knowing that I am available for the divine grace to have its way in this field of awareness. And it's from this place of willingness to not know that I opened my heart to that love that I just saw this planet is, and allow this to be a space that I just lift into my brothers and sisters in Poway, the synagogue, the violence that took place there in the shooting, the loss of life, and those that are injured, and the community that is impacted, that the presence of God surrounds and embraces each and every one of that spiritual community and those family members. And I know right now that truly there is only one family upon this planet, and our love adds to that divine embrace of greater good. And our love goes out to the miracle babies and this wonderful organization that has said yes to finding a way to serve humanity in a way that makes a difference. I know every prayer request has been brought forth to Seaside is finding its expression into manifest form, and that each and every one of us is letting go of any of the old patterns or thoughts or beliefs that has denied the expression of greater good in our life and the world in which we walk. So I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for the healing that is going on in this moment, that which is beyond what I thought my mind could know, to that openness to that greater yet to be that finds expression as my reality. So I let go to this moment, trusting Spirit to speak in my awareness through these practitioners that stand before us. We go forth in love and peace and joy. So it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand.
Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go, let it all go.
And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Seaside, sing it from your heart.
Let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. Only here for
Beautiful.
no more struggle, no more strife. With
My faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And our affirmation for the week is, I walk in balance with the earth. Together, I walk in balance with the earth. Again, I walk in balance with the earth. One more time. I walk in balance with the earth. In our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace.
Come on up, receive prayer. We're here for you. Enjoy.